Hi, this is Jan of the Jan Files. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Today I'm going to talk about FAFSA. Now, that is the Federal Student Loan Program. For those of you who don't know, if you have kids, you will eventually know if they decide they want to go to college. And let me just hit on that one point. I don't think everybody has to go to college. I think a lot of kids are far better off doing other things or pursuing other ways of learning than college. But college is an important option, especially if we want to have more scientists, more doctors, more attorneys, and maybe you don't want more attorneys, but we do need them, and professionals. Now, and teachers, of course. Now, here's the problem, folks. Project 2025 has stepped in big time. And exactly what they advocated for within Project 2025 is happening. Now, maybe exactly is not the right word, but absolutely, they took a lot of what they decided to do in the big, ugly ass bill from Project 2025. So what does that mean? What it means is there's no more unsubsidized loans. So kids are going to have to start paying back. Well, let me put it this way, start accruing interest immediately. No more, you wait till you get out of school loans to start accruing interest. So that's one thing. The second thing is there is now a cap on the amount of loans that a kid can get, especially if they are in need in terms of their parents don't have a lot of income. Now, it used to be for 4 years' time, you could get up to about $50K. Okay? Now, over 4 years' time, it's $27,000. $27,000 in total in federal loans. That's all you can get. Now, a parent can get a Parent Plus loan. But there's a couple things that have changed about that. One, there is a cap. That cap is $20,000 per year per student. Now, like in my case, next year, my second daughter is going to be in college. So I'm going to have two kids in college at the same time. So if I had the wherewithal, I could pay $20,000 for one student and $20,000 for my other daughter, right? But there is a lifetime cap of $65,000. Hey, folks, I don't know if you've checked out college tuition and room and board and, etc. It's 50, 60, 70. And, in private universities and conservatory, it can be $80,000 or $90,000. Now, you're saying, I know there's some people out there, well, if you can't afford it, then don't go. Well, you know what? Do you know how many doctors and scientists and professors and rocket scientists and whatever we wouldn't have if they couldn't have gone to school and counted on a federal loan system? What is happening? And let's all be really clear, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's the last thing I am. But I'm going to tell you right now, based on Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation, and the conservative right, they would rather have no federal loans. That's actually what, the Project 2025 says. No federal loans. Well, what the Republicans did is they kept federal loans in place, but they cut them. They slashed them. They're going to make it very hard for kids who don't have parents who aren't wealthy to go to school. And what they're going to have to rely on, because parents after $65,000 could literally be looking at, let's just say it's $50,000 a year, another $150,000. Now, what the government wants parents to do is once you hit that limit, you got to go private. You got to figure out some other way. Now, the federal loan right now in terms of interest rate is 6%. Okay, it's just now going to be 6%. It's unsubsidized. So you start accruing interest the minute you take it, right? Now, what's going to happen is that people are going to be turning to private loans. And then obviously you have to have the credit to do it. You have to have the income to do it. And the problem with that is that a lot of people don't, obviously. And the loan cost is huge. It's 9 to 11%. That's a huge difference if you have to go take a private loan, where there are many, many restrictions. In addition, there is no forgiveness plan like there is in the federal loan program, or there used to be. And there's no income-based scenario in terms of how you pay it back. So this is devastating. There's also no Graduate Plus loans anymore. Graduate loans are now capped. They also have a cap. And I don't know if I have it at the tip of my tongue. They have a cap of, maybe I don't have it at the tip of my tongue, so I don't want to So anyway, so they're also capped. So just like, parents can only put in $20,000 a year or $65,000 in total, that the graduate students also have a loan cap, which means they then have to go to private sources. Now, there is no longer any need-based funding, which is what happened with the unsubsidized loans. It's gone. Okay. And so again, the other thing that's gone is that you can only take $27,000 in total in loans for undergraduate students. This is not parents, this is kids. So that's $27,000 instead of $50,000. So all of these things, the whole purpose of this is to stop kids from getting educated that are not wealthy. Period. Because none of this affects the millionaires and billionaires, okay? It doesn't. Their kids will go to school no matter what, because they have the money. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that there is a deliberate attempt to dumb down Americans, one, by robbing them of education. And two, there is a deliberate attempt to focus on those who are in more need. They don't want them getting more education because they know these are the very people who understand the struggles of the middle and lower class. They don't want them getting educated. Do you understand? They want the population dumb, like MAGA. And Trump's even said it. Smart people don't like me. He's right. He's right. And so here we are with a very deliberate action to show you what the Republican Party is all about. So if you're planning on sending your kids to college and aren't wealthy, you better pay attention, because this will impact you. It impacts me immediately, because my second daughter is going to start school in the fall. And then there's also the fact that if you are pursuing other kinds of careers than being a lawyer or being a business, financier and all these other things, then you are going to be entering the work market at a very, very low wage in comparison to walking out of school being an attorney. An attorney can walk out and they're already making $250,000 for their first year. If you walk out and you're an artist, you're a teacher, you're a musician, anything like that, you're not going to remotely see another number like that. And payments for your loan could be higher than your salary. So what is that going to do? I mean, this is all constructed. Go read Project 2025 about education. They wanted to end the Department of Education. That's already happening. That's all Project 2025, folks. And so read that. And then go and look what FAFSA is now doing to students. And tell me that this administration, these Republicans, have any care for anyone other than the million and billionaires. Because you know how much corporate subsidies we give out, subsidies, tax credits. It's a total of anywhere, depending on how you calculate it, from 100 billion to 200 billion. That's what we give in corporate welfare. And yet here we are, charging interest on loans, which I think should be completely abolished for education. The government should get its money back, but stop with the interest. The whole point is to create a society that is progressive, and I don't mean in terms of, political beliefs. I'm talking about producing innovation. That's what we once were known for. Not so much anymore. And if you think it's a good thing that a lot of the foreign students are not going to come here, then I got nothing anyway to say to you. So if you're not paying to FAFSA, let me just give you one really quick example. Let's say you're getting $5,000 a year in an unsubsidized FAFSA loan. That interest rate is 6%. In 1 year, you're going to add $1,300 to that $5,000, right? And then the next year, you're going to add another $1,300, and et cetera, et cetera. That is only $5,000, okay? And already, that's $6,800 a year. So we have 4 times 5 is 20, right? So that's 20K, and 68 times 4 is what? 68 times 4. 4 to 2, 3, 4. $27,000. So if my math is screwed up, it's been a long day. Anyway, you can figure it out, right? So you have 20,000 if it was subsidized. Unsubsidized, you have 6,800 times 4. Okay? So that's what I'm going to tell you. Therein lies the difference, and that's only 5,000. So all I can say for anybody who thinks the GOP is looking out for you, if you're a middle class person, a lower class, I don't mean lower class, lower income person, middle income person, you're a joke. And if you don't think that this is absolutely an attempt to create a white nationalist society where the only people that are going to benefit are wealthy white people who then may decide to bestow their generosity whenever they might choose to give something to a school or a grant or whatever, it's what we're going to be relying on. And that is it for today. Thanks.